that there is no God, but guess what? The Lord has put that void that only He can fill. We all know. So a lot of folks will say, hey, I go out here and just worship nature. I'm out here. And I wonder how that plays out when the dog rips the cat's head off. Oh, how beautiful. I mean, that happens. But anyhow, you know there's a God who He says it's time to believe me. He's speaking with authority. Let not your heart be troubled, which they were. You believe in God. It's time to believe in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. He can't speak a half-truth. This is all truth. I would have told you if it weren't true, but I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And where I go, ye know. And the way ye know. And then Thomas speaks up, and we don't know, Lord. We don't know where you're going to be. We don't even know how to get there. So how can we know the way? And then this is our verse. Jesus says, I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life, and no man cometh into the Father. But, now get this. We're not done yet. Verse 7. If ye had known me, ye should have known my Father also. And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him. So when you see me, you're seeing the Father. Three persons, one. Listen, you're not going to grasp it all. Like I say, I'm a little smarter than Justin. He's kindergarten. I think I've learned through life's lesson. God, Jesus, is from eternity past. There's no beginning. Isn't it possible that He might know a little more than me? Isn't that a possibility? So why do I insist on my way? Why can't you just submit and go His way and trust Him? Because I want to remain the authority of my life. I mean, I know your word says this, but I'm sure that wasn't intended for me. That was intended for all of us. He's wanting to give us the fullness of life. Chat with me a little bit. Slow it down a little bit here. I mean, you may have that knock on your door tonight. Or in the morning. Are you prepared, or is it just going to be this? Well, I know what I believe, so y'all just go on. God will save their soul. And you think He might have had something to do with them coming and knocking on your door? Get this. Elder had just studied his lesson. I'm reading it Friday morning, and I'm like, whoa, I've got to call Elder. And I'm like, dude, have you seen your Sunday school lesson for this Sunday? He said, well, actually, I read that Monday. Think the Lord might have had him prepared for this knock on the door? Certainly He did. He didn't slam the door in their face, they get on. This is what we believe. This is what we know. God's going to put those opportunities in front of you. Don't you discard them. That's a soul that the Lord wants to save. And you don't know. You don't know what resonated. I mean, yeah, you may get the treatment that I did. The dude that stormed out and shot me a bird and told me not to go to heaven, guess what? I'm visiting him 2 days later. Let him chill. Let him chill. He's a big old boy. And when I pulled up, he was absolutely shocked. I cannot believe you came. I cannot. And so you know what? For 15 minutes, I got cursed upside down and sideways. Just let him get all that out. And I was not arrogant. I promise. And I said, Lord, give me patience. Now, are you done? Yeah, I think I am. All right. And then guess what? Now, if I called this guy, I said, bro, I need you. I ain't talked to him probably a year since David Lewis passed away. But if I called him right now and said, man, I need you. Where are you? He'd be here in a moment. Now, my way of running after someone in front of a whole congregation and shot me a bird and told me not to go to heaven. I know the Lord loves him. I know He can use him. I know He's going to affect lives that I'll never be able to affect. I won't ever be able to touch. I mean, most of His crew, I ain't going to be running into. You know? But God loves His souls. That makes sense. So don't just blow them off. This is what Christ did for all of us. Okay? All right. Let's go. Where we'll go. Let's go to Colossians. Not only is Jesus the only begotten Son, He is God Colossians 1:15. And again, I'm reading from the King James. If you want to throw in a comment or read a different translation, that's okay with me. 1:15 in Colossians, King James. You know what? Don't get bugged out here. But we're talking about Jesus. So it starts out, who is the image? So he isn't asking a question. In the King James, it says in Colossians 1:15, who is the image of the invisible God? He ain't asking us a question. He's already laid out who Jesus is, so he's just reinforcing that. So we're talking about Jesus. So instead of me saying who, actually it would be Jesus is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. For by Jesus were all things created. You just read that in 1 John, or John chapter 1. For by him were all things created. Him is Jesus, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by Jesus and for Jesus. Does that bug you out? It's saying him and I'm saying Jesus. That's the him that they're talking about. Jesus, God in flesh, Emmanuel, verse 17. And he, Jesus, is before all things, and by him, Jesus, all things consist. And he, Jesus, is the head of the body. What's the body? What are we talking about there? Church. Church is called many things, but this is the church, his body. And it doesn't mean Bowling Springs, it means all believers that have submitted and surrendered to Christ. They have repented and are welcomed into the family. His Holy Spirit moves in at that moment. You have just become a member of the body. Amen? Amen. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he, Jesus, might have preeminence. Now, talk to me. That was just a couple of verses, but a lot was said that's kind of echoing and backing up what we've already read.
He reaffirms what you are.
He reaffirms. Hey, you don't need to go any further than this right here. You just pray. And it's just a good idea. It's something that I always take time to do. Lord, give me eyes to see. Give me eyes to see. True. Now, them boys that was knocking on elders, if they just said, okay, give me eyes to see, and you open up the Word of God, him in his eminence, in his sovereignty, he's going to enlighten them. He is going to enlighten them, and they'll go fall on their knees and bow before him, submit, and be welcomed into the church. But can you imagine how difficult that is? When you've been pursuing something that you thought would bring life, basically over half of your life, and you invested money, sweat, and tears, and then bam, you hit the wall and you realize that ain't it. And then you got me coming up, hey, let me share the gospel with you. Like I got veins coming out, won't coming out of my head. And they're scared to death to step back in. Now God knows that, and he will slowly, we're going to drop it in, but I can't water this down. I can pound religion, but I can't pound revelation. I can't back off and make the gospel something that it is not, because then I render it powerless. You've got to reveal the gospel for what it is. We desperately need him, and through his amazing grace, he opens us up our eyes and lets us realize that we're separated, that we are far from God, but he is here to transform us and bring us into the family. Guess why he brings us in? Send us out. There you go. And you shout just like the woman at the well. She had no fear. Suddenly this one that was ashamed to be around folks, she's going to everybody, even the men folk. Go see him. He knows. He is the one. He is the Messiah. He is God. There's no shame in that. Why would we shame the gospel? And why do we question his authority? And think that he's got to explain something to us. Okay, I'm going to go through that door, but you got to explain. Why? I ain't got to explain nothing. I am God. Am I going to be your Lord? Am I going to be your authority? Or not? And sometimes we're here, hey, 8 years I ran. Good church folk. That's good for religion, good for the church. God, they love me. That's Joey. Nobody else will do it. Joey will do it. You know why? I would have done anything and everything except what he was asking me to do. I will stay in clean. I will stay in, you name it, I will do it. Doing stuff that I hated. Not because of my love for the Lord, because I didn't want him to be the authority. Anything but this, Lord. I'll tell you what, I remember being in Burger King. My affections were to the Lord. God, I loved him, but not this. I'm not going to do this. The thing that I would die for now. Pastor in church. There's a guy that shows up at our meeting, and he is, if you see him, I can assure you, you will hear the gospel. And you probably want to just have to walk away when he's talking. I mean, he is a pastor that doesn't have a church now, and I can just imagine. I mean, I love that now he's sharing the gospel everywhere he goes. Every pastor should be doing that. Every Christian should be doing that. But this guy is just about to explode. And I know that feeling now. The one thing that I wasn't going to do, anything else, send me to the other side of the world. I don't mind going to a third world country. I'll even take my wife and my children. But not pastor a church. I've seen the meanness there. I'm not going to touch that. You need to break me, but this is my wife and children that you've given me. He said, 8 years. 8 years. And that's how patient he is. Go ahead and wear yourself out. Get your to-do list. And once you have done all that, quit doing all this, come and chat with me because you're going to be exhausted. And I was exhausted. And then once I submitted to that, Lord, it's the greatest thing ever. Isn't that crazy? The one thing that I thought I could never do, I would die if I wasn't doing it. I told that guy, you're handling it a lot better than I would be. Much better than I would be. Pastor without a church, it's difficult. It's difficult. Talk to me. Comments, questions.
So this is just reiterating John 1. He is the way. I like Colossians 1, but it is just absolute John 1.
There are so many places in the Bible. Yeah, we can rip the Bible apart. We can make it say whatever we want it to say. And folks do that. That's how we have the prosperity gospel. It just touches our flesh and yes, it's about me. And God is my genie. You need to do this, you need to do that. And if we're not careful, do we not do that in our prayer time? Okay, God, do this, heal that, give me this, give me that. We just got to be careful. He loves to bless his children. I'm not saying that, but he's blessed us up and forward. We're in his family, in his kingdom. But the prosperity gospel is gospel from the pit of hell. Popular on TV, you go home, it's all over it. And it's going to appeal to you. I know what Pastor said, but because it's about your flesh. It's about making you God. And this right here is reminding us, no, that this is, all things are his. And he's invited you in. You get God. You get Jesus. It don't get better than that. Well, I would kind of like that house at the beach. And, well, I would too. God sees fit. You might get that. That's okay. But the majority of folks that I see that prayer request, be it at a boat or the house at the beach, we always say the right thing to the pastor. Say the right thing to God. He already knows intent and the motive of your heart, and he will show it to you, but we don't like to see it because it's so filthy. But yeah, I'm here, man, if you'll just do this for me, guess what? This will be the house of prayer. We'll have the house of prayer at the beach. We'll start Sunday school or whatever. Seldom do I see that. God will give them. All right, this is it. This is what you're asking for. Follow me. Here it is. But would you be bold enough, someone come, and they will, I promise you, it's going to bug you out a little bit, but someone's going to come up and ask you. We had someone come over to the house yesterday. I don't even know who these folks were. I've seen them at some of our associational meetings. I know they're probably good folks, but I don't know them. Well, just for the guy gets in the truck, he's used to cut timber, good looking fella, several years, probably 70-some years old. He was on his roof. I'm like, you know what, I'm 55, I ain't get on my roof, but the wind had caused some damage, and he got on his roof. But he's a man's man, he won't call anyone else to cut a tree or get on the roof. He'll get on his roof till he falls off and dies. But just before he got in the truck, he was like, if you wouldn't mind, said, I'd love for you to have prayer. Said something's going on, and it doesn't sound real good, so they're going to do some tests, not this week, but the following week. And I'm like, ain't no problem, come here. Now, it didn't matter that I was in my driveway, if we were in Food Line or Walmart or anywhere else. Somebody asked for prayer, pray for my then. Because you're just like me, you're intense or fantastic. You want to forget, I forget. My phone gets blown up, and my wee little mind, I just forget. But they're asking, so why not do it there? Can you see Jesus saying, I'm busy right now, just hang back, or yeah, would Jesus not do that? So guess what? Just laid my hand on him and just prayed that you're going to make much of yourself through this. And let's see, you are the great physician. So God, thank you for common grace. Thank you for medicine, the technology. Lord, it is a gift from above, but we're going above common grace. What we're asking is that you heal him right here. I got goosebumps all over me. And he had tears and snot all over him. And he's a man's man. You think a guy that gets out and cuts trees, gets on his own roof at 75 years old, wants to see me, who he really doesn't know, crying like a little girl? Don't take that as an offense. When I did that to one of my boys, Megan heard that, she said, "Look, you got a problem with a little girl? I mean, my daughter's getting ready to jack me up. Why are you saying little girl? You better come up with something different." But you know what I'm saying. The Wilkes County redneck don't want nobody seeing him cry. Skippy, how awesome was last Wednesday, that visit? Raining, thunder, and lightning, and it was 2 Wilkes County rednecks, about as red as you can get. And I bet I heard "I love you" to where it started to bug me out a little bit. I mean, I already heard it like 5 times, and then right before I get, "I love you," and I'm like, yeah, I know, I heard it. But how awesome was that? I mean, it just absolutely blessed her heart, and how easy it would have been for us to say, maybe another time. But praise God, we went ahead and went, you know. Bless their socks off. And I bet you anything, you call one of those boys right now, he said, "Bro, I need you." "Okay, well, I'm in ICU. Let me get this stuff unplugged, and I'll be there."
Probably.
All right. Again, we're drinking out of the fire hydrant. A lot happened. Let God be God. He's good at it. He is so good at it, and we are so horrible. So when he's wooing, when he's drawing, when he's putting that person on your heart, there's a reason. He is going to work. And he's going to work through you. He's going to work through you. So if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, God will go kill me. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm wide awake and I can't get on. Yeah, pray. Go ahead and pray. And then you might need to go ahead and make that phone call. Now, how bugged out are they going to get if you did wake them up and you said, "I just had to call and make sure you're okay. I just got you on my heart." You think you will get cussed out? You might. I did. But it was okay. It was okay. Father, again, we just pause and just thank you for reminding us that you are the way, the truth, and the life. Lord, you have opened our eyes and you have wooed us in, and now you're sending us out. And it seems at times that we're the only ones that are believing that you are the God, that you are first in our life, and we are willing to go wherever and do whatever. Lord, it's all because of you, of what you have done for us. So, Lord, help our unbelief, that we can believe more and trust you more, because you are God alone. So I thank you in advance for each one that's here, that you have re-sparked our mission to connect with you, connect with others, and connect them with you. So we just pause and we thank you and overwhelmed by you and your goodness toward us. It's in your sweet Son's name, Jesus, we pray. And all God's children say, thank you for listening so well. Yes, sir.
On Friday.
You wasn't bad, sure.